Go ahead.
Sure. My name is Mark Kelso.
My name's Archie Ross Kelso, and similar. We live here in Richmond.
And I am, along with my wife, a landowner that is being directly affected because the proposed gas pipeline goes within 25 feet of our house.
My name is John Hoyt. I live on Stony Hill Road in Cana, New York.
My name is Bruce Schenker, and I live on Beacon Hill Road in New Lebanon, and the pipeline passes through my property.
There's a car parked down there.
Yeah.
Let's just get this quickly.
Want to say no more fossil fuels?
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do that.
How about no new fossil fuels?
Yeah, that's good.
I bought my land in, I think, around 1984, and there were two pipelines through the property already. Well, one of them was built in the 50s. They added one that year. They told me that if I didn't approve it, they would use eminent domain. I thought that eminent domain meant that had to do with the greater good for the community, and I didn't have any understanding of why this pipeline would be good for the community.
We bought the land with an easement already on it, and we were told that it was just natural gas, nothing else.
I didn't hear about the expansion of the pipeline until very recently, probably the end of May, early June. And then when I saw that it was coming from the frack gas in Pennsylvania, I said, well, that's enough reason to be against it.
We were told that it would be maintained.
Because I've just been involved in planting 2 fields in pumpkins this year. Those fields that were involved in the construction of the 92 pipeline are now full of rocks. So what took 3 or 4 generations of farmers to create the pipeline construction company took 3 or 4 weeks to undo.
If the company's not liable for any leaks or accidents, what's their motivation to get out here and maintain it?
I never really thought about the accidents and things like that, but I've been reading more about it lately, and it's a lot more scary than I anticipated.
We're in like the kill zone. They say that if there's actually an explosion, we'd be fried.
Part of the pipeline is in a designated wetlands area.
We did have one representative come out and actually show us where the proposed pipeline route was, and I said, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's taking down these amazing trees. It's going through wetlands. It's going through the water that feeds our spring. I mean, it's crazy.
There was just an article where the TGP or Kinder Morgan officials had said publicly, oh, whoops, it's now $6 billion. Whoops, we miscalculated.
They say they'll make you whole, like financially. So they're not things you can replace with money. Like that's not gonna, you can't like put back the trees. You can't unpollute the water. You can't take away a sense of sanctuary of our home.
You probably know the story. They're charging the ratepayers of Massachusetts or New England the cost for the pipeline, so what do they care?
We're people of very modest means. We don't have extra money around to be hiring a lawyer. And we would be, if this went through, we'd be forced to do that.
All you can imagine is how much money they must be making on this thing. If they could afford to put, $2 or $3 million a mile to put it in, it's just staggering. Yeah.
Sharing how much you got?
If I remember, it was on the order of $1,000 to $2,000.
This may be one of those large last gasps of a dying paradigm, only because it's getting harder and harder to extract fossil fuels. And we've been living in a time and with generations of us who have had cheap gas, cheap electricity, and that's no longer really true. And I think that's part of what you guys are doing is awakening larger numbers of people to, oh, we have choices here that maybe are better than the profit-driven motives of a dying paradigm.
Yeah.
And he arrived unannounced and uninvited from Tenneco about this new pipeline, just to go to the landowners and see if they would grant permission for the survey work. And I explained to him at some length, and he wrote down a list of problems I described. Explained to him why I wouldn't sign anything at this time.
And if it has to go to eminent domain, it will have to go to eminent domain. We're not going to negotiate with them. And we've come together with other neighbors.
When the walk across Massachusetts, there were at least 5 or 6 people, maybe more, from New York that were just supporting them. And, you know, if we could stop it in New York, then it's not going to get to Massachusetts. If they stop it in Massachusetts, then I assume it wouldn't go through New York. Everything we do supports each other.
Like, I feel like, well, there's no accident that we're here, that we're like this gateway property coming from New York into Massachusetts, that we're choosing to deny the survey because we don't believe in it anywhere.